Still working on this new flip bike, number 14. Tires are all in. Gonna go drop those off Saturday morning. Working on this carb. I did have to tear it down, rebuild it, and I think the float might be stuck, or the plunger, or I'm not sure, because I had to turn it on prime for a little bit to get it started, and then I shut it back off prime, but it was puking out fuel out the hose, the yellow hose there, and it just got mocked up to the drain there. And we'll have to address that. It hasn't done it lately, but and then I did say I smelled coolant. I don't know if you can see in there. Starting right here, there's a whole line. The radiator is definitely leaking. I don't know if you can see it from this side. You can kind of see it. Let's go down here. So you guys can see that line right there, the dark line. That's where it is leaking. I had this strong suspicion it was leaking, and I couldn't see it while I was there. So I don't know if he had something like plugging it up for a little bit, although I did not let it run for as long as I did when I got it home. So radiator's on order, should be here in a week. I'm gonna go ahead and do the water pump in the meantime, and change the water pump, the gasket, and then we'll get it back together, wait on the radiator, and we should be able to button it up. I'll check the valve clearances just to make sure they're good. And I did get some black handlebars. These ones are a little bit bent. And what else? And I did go ahead and move the lights down to the fuel tank cover. So this is gonna be my thing now, rather than kind of doing it like that. To buy a new fender, you're probably looking at $1,000. So a new one of these, 50 bucks, whether it be new, used, whatever. So this is how I'm gonna do it from now on if I'm gonna replace handlebars. Pretty simple. Just kind of got to oblong the hole, because if you notice the originals, they are a little oblong on top there. So I just used a step drill, measured it out. That way they're evenly spaced, and definitely looks a lot better, I think, than having them up here, because I mean most of the time I can't even see mine because the pad's in the way there and it's just straight through there. So definitely gonna do this from now on. All right, so we got the old water pump off. It definitely looks like someone was trying to pry on there. If you look right there, it is broken. So someone definitely was trying to get in there. This is the gasket that was in there. I do know that's not OEM, so. I do believe this thing was on the verge of leaking, because when I pulled it apart, there was some oil and coolant mixed, which there shouldn't have been. So went ahead and replaced that. And what did I see on here? Oh, so I pulled this bolt out. So when I bought it, it was kind of all wet right here. Well, it wasn't wet, but the dirt was sticking to it. So as I pulled this bolt out, it felt kind of weird. But it was still intact. And then when I went to put the cover back on, just as I was hand tightening it, this one broke. That was down here, so it just snapped. So grabbed another bolt there, and we'll make that work. But I think this was leaking because it was loose. So hopefully that'll take care of that problem. And then, as always, these guys never put the O-ring back that's supposed to be back there. It does come in the kit when you buy a complete head gasket or a complete gasket set. So, unfortunately, it does not come with the oil filters, which I kind of think it should, because I know you get this outer one with it, but they should give you both. So the other way, I know someone was in here. Normally there's 2 screws holding this water pump together. There was nothing holding them together, so someone definitely was in here. If you look at this, you know, that's all. It's some sealer in there. That's what it looks like on this side. So I don't know what the heck was going on there, but someone attempted to do something in there. So this side would be protruding out. I'm sorry, that side's inside. So yeah, I don't know, but you can definitely see something happen there. So I went ahead and ordered some paint. So this is the blue for the blue frame. Other right has all the colors with the codes. So Pearl Deep Blue number 2. Some of these do require I guess a primer. I didn't opt to get it because it was a lot more money. But we'll see how these do. This is the red for the red frame one. And then I got the Flint gray for like that there. That's my bike, is the Flint gray. So these, I think for all 3, I paid like 90 bucks. So these are 2 ounces, 2 ounce bottles. I do believe they call this the touch up, I want to say jar. I know they have a tube. I definitely have to confirm that, but this will last a while. I don't use much when I touch up, like just the stuff on the frame. So kind of just ordered that, so I had it for future use. All right, got the radiator in, new one, new overflow bottle. Put the Pro Taper handlebars on. I do like these bars. I don't know, they seem thinner than the MSR over there, but they're definitely nice. It's a nice wide bar for the ATV. Radiator, you can definitely see where it was leaking. So I knew I smelled coolant. I asked the guy, but I just didn't see it coming through at the time, so ordered a new radiator. I've ordered this kind before, just an Amazon cheapie. It works, does the trick, so I'm gonna go ahead and send it with that. Button up a couple things. I gotta re-drill the ignition to the side of the front plastics. Other than that, just need to put some fluids in there, and I think we should be good. And then the carb, it may be leaking, it may not be. I haven't run it in a couple days, but every time I run it, it seems to puke out fuel for some reason for a little bit at first, and then it stops. So I don't know if that's because I turned it on prime just to get some fuel in there when I started it the first time or what, but we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. All right, so I've been moving along on this thing. Water pump was leaking between the gasket there, so I had to take the whole cover back off. Put a new rubber O-ring in there on the rubber gasket that came with it. I think it was just flattened too much. And then the 2 screws that go in the back were actually loose. So if you ever buy a water pump, or any part for that matter that has screws on it, check them to make sure they're tight. Radiator's in. I'm waiting on an O-ring, so you can see that one's kind of bubbled out. And it's not really, I mean, there's a slight drip or moisture there, so I need to address that. So I got some O-rings coming. This radiator, it comes with O-rings on the plug that is in there, but the ones that are OEM don't. On the original radiator, it sits down inside this lip here, and this one doesn't have that lip, so definitely a China brand radiator, but I've used them in the past. I didn't have a problem then, but I ordered a O-ring kit just to help fix that. So we get this thing all wrapped up here this weekend, and we'll keep it for another week, ride it around and stuff, make sure it's good to go. Got the new handlebars on there. I'm gonna touch up some of the frame. Got the paint in. And give it another bath. Tires are on. So we went with the Mass FX. I think those are like under $200 or right around $200. For a set of 4. The front ones are smaller than the OEM ones. The back ones are the same size. Yeah, we touched up the frame there. Some blue, some clear, a couple other touch-ups and a couple other spots. But still waiting on the O-ring kit to come for this sensor there, and then we should be able to put this thing back together and get it all taken care of.